Hello, beautiful YouTube community. My name is Emily. Big welcome to anyone who may be tuning in for the first time. Today, I'm going to be talking about how the energetic currency on our planet is actually changing. And for anybody out there, if you don't have like a good, channel you follow for earth events, solar flares, earthquakes, volcanoes, things like that, I would definitely recommend the geophysicist Stefan Burns. His information is, I would call it high vibe. He's high vibe, but also because he is a scholar, he is like, he'll debunk a lot of stuff that sometimes people are saying. And also he's very good at predicting 6 or 7 point earthquakes. So I'll just shout out Stefan here. Because really what's happening is as the earth is receiving so much solar currents, and the solar currents of course are interacting with the core of our planet and the magma reserves, and there really is like our earth itself, including our bodies, is going through a huge transition as more and more light is being given to the planet. And there's no stopping that, right? That's just happening. It's the dawning of the age of Aquarius. It is the turning of the age. And so because of that, our Earth Mother is also going through a lot of changes. Okay, this includes our body. So what I have been guided to talk about today is helping people to create a deeper inquiry with their own divine self. Okay, I was once told this really cool thing. Each person, each divine soul is created because like someone here on earth was praying. Okay, actually, I'm getting a clarification. Not all souls are created this way, because not all souls take their first incarnation on this planet. But for those souls that have taken their first incarnation on this planet, there were people praying, and your soul may have been created as an answer to the prayers that were being prayed. Isn't that cool? I think that's so fun. So, each of us has our own uniqueness, and while our consciousness is expanding into a more unified field where we will feel a deeper unity with each other, there is also a individuality that is being reserved, especially as Aquarians are, one of their energetic signatures is sort of this individuality or uniqueness. So somebody who does a really great job about talking about how there are different ages and different defining characteristics of different ages is the Christian mystic and scholar Gigi Young. So Gigi talks about how in an earlier age, before Christ, the incarnation of Christ, who came through Mary who was daughter of Anna, some say Anna. There are lots of Annas as well, if you are looking at more of a divine feminine tradition. So, this, with Christ, as Gigi teaches it, there begins to be a switch in humanity where people are now, before that, people kind of thought of themselves more unified, but it was like unified and the same. And now kind of what we're moving into is we will be unified, right? We will be sovereign, we will be individual, we will be unique, but we will be unified as human beings as we go forward in this Aquarian age. So what the guides were showing me to talk about was reflecting upon what is balance for you. Because you may be a person who has 7 of your celestial bodies in earth signs, right? So what is balance for you might look very different than, say, for me, what is balance for me, where my birth chart is primarily air and fire with a tiny bit of earth and a tiny bit of water. Or someone could be predominantly water, right? Or if you're like my dad, you just have a perfectly balanced birth chart with a planet and everything, you know, like we're all here. And those of us who have concentrations in certain areas are, you know, working that energy, either because we have a specialty to do so, or we've signed a divine soul contract to have mastery in a certain area or field. So what looks like balance for one person isn't going to look like balance for another person. And culturally, we're kind of taught to compare and contrast ourselves to others. And really, you were prayed for, you were asked for. And you accepted the call to be an earthling, to be here on earth. And so my personal feeling is that there is a rhyme and a reason for everything, right? There is an energetic match for everything. And so learning to come into your own gravitas of your own like acceptance, right? It's really just like an acceptance of self at all of the levels. And to not, you know, on earth, not everyone, okay? People watching this channel, probably not. But most human beings are more oriented to the physical plane of reality than is healthy. You know, most people live in a very deep materialistic worldview. And so to find your balance, you want to think about what is healthy and well for you on all levels of your being, physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. You know, what creates balance, coherence, peace, joy, right? Peace is a precursor to feeling states of joy, states of bliss, ecstasy, right? And so, you know, peace is really important to cultivate at this time within your own being, because by doing that, you're actually healing. You are healing it's happening really at a DNA level. You know, we've been told that we have so much junk DNA. Like, I don't know the exact percentage, but I think it's like upwards of 80 or 90% junk DNA. Now, nature just doesn't make anything that is 90% junk. So as the light is coming to the planet, that is biochemically activating and is creating a emergence of what some might call the new human. But what humanity is doing is returning to the original divine blueprint plan. And within that was always a lot of uniqueness and also unity. So, okay. So that is the first message that I have for the eclipse here. Now I will be doing 4 light codes, okay? And I do not know how long they will be or what they will be. I will set a very clear intention that each light code they won't all be for the same person, right? They're going to be slightly different light codes for different viewers, watchers. So a few things about light codes. Some people are to the point within their light body activation that they can close their eyes, and when someone gives light codes, they can see visuals and imagery, etc. That could happen. Okay, if that doesn't happen, you shouldn't feel sad about it. if a light code is for you, you will likely feel it. You know, you will feel the energy working within your system. And also, light codes are very quantum. They have the divine authority and capacity to work on many levels and layers of your being at once. And so it could be that you wouldn't feel anything and it could still be of benefit or service to you. But most likely, if it is a light code that would assist you at this time, you would feel it, okay? Best to have a tall, straight spine, and let us begin. I'm just going to meditate for a minute and then I will begin with the first light code. And clearly setting the intention that all of these light codes will be for the highest benefit and service of anyone who receives them. And if that isn't the case, or isn't the case for me as well, because I am quite energetically sensitive and this is a public space, and I have learned that if you activate someone with light codes before they are ready, then their ancestors or their demons that are in them, they like to gang up on people. And I do not consent, all right? I do not consent to any spiritual warfare whatsoever. And so my light codes are only for the people that they are for, who can receive them with peace. Okay. Miatus arabatast. Miatua shiatu. Miatua kia siara. Hiavatu ramanast. Kiara tuama siarama hea hea he. Hiatawa shamanaki. Hiata kiata ramananana shiatuara hea hea he. Hiatuara miasatara kiara basatea hea he. America, home of the free and the brave. America, America, home of the free and the brave. Hiarabanasta, kialapatasta, shiaba kiara heya heya hey. Okay, I could keep singing that, but that feels like enough. Miasata ikiatua rapatast. Okay, now we will move to the second light code. Vati arapatast. Nuwatat it arapatast. Miakut arapatast. Miashapu ataika ina rupatatast. Ikimahanta arupatatast. Shiatua rapatast. Inatit arapatat arapatat ut it at urpatat. Mast urp shk tu rupatatast. Matit atu arapatatast eakaat u arabatast. Miasat it at ut arabatast. Kiatu arabatast shata u rapatatast. Miati aki asi ati awi atu arabatast. Parapatatast. Miatu arabatast. Okay. Now, let us move on to the third light code. I'm getting a message. It's that song. I don't know that song that well. What is the lyric? Do 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 do. Call me maybe. I think that's the lyrics. Call me maybe. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Here's my number, so call me maybe. Okay. Maybe you have someone you need to call. Message for you. Okay. Miatu arabatast. Ki atu arabatast. Kiata arabatast. Miasha sata rapatata ikiyamanast. Maishk urup mat arabatast. E kiatut arabatast. Esh wa tu arabatast. Mist urubup. Endarup tat ik. Shat urupt. Stat urst mat ut. Raptst miat ut arbetast. Ikiapu arbetast e miatut arbetast. Kiasante iapute atiatut et arbetast. Matu arata. Shata iki ata uru ata. Miatu arapatast. Tiatu ratatata. Okay, that's the third one. And the final light code. Okay, here we go. Hikitakaya shu arabatast. Love miatut ist what it arupt mit arapat tut arat at it aratat at it at ut at it at ut arapat at ut arat naki aramantatast miatu arabatast ishk isk ushk ski ska tu arabatast mata ikatagaya shisha tut ala ba tut tu rupt mat et urrt miasa iki atu rasht miat ut et ut arrat it ut at na ikot ut a miatut arabatast kiatu arabatast miasata ikiatut arabatast miasutut arabatast esh wash wash es was intaka ana sutut arat eshk su miat urashk st arusht miati atiatu arbatast. That song. You got the whole world in your hands. You got the whole world in your hands. You got the little bitty babies in your hands. You got the whole world in your hands. You got the fishes in the ocean in your hands. You got the birds in the trees in your hands. You got the healthy breeze in your hands. You got the whole world in your hands. That was definitely not the correct lyrics, but I just kind of went with it. Okay. Anything else? I heard two more. Two more. Okay, we're going two more. Miatut arest nura miakust miat ur isk. Miatu rimetataist miakut et ur et ut arutut. Miasatata urabtast miakiatut arast ant ut arat. Miaku arab mast miakut tat it arat st arut miast atit at ut arat at. Kiat urrash miatut as antit arut garat nat it arat tut miak urut. Sturum miat umyapuya, miopuya pa uyapuya. Puya papa, uya papuya papa, puya papa, supa urupapa. Ikituku rupapapast, miaturat. Okay, now the final one. You know what I'm getting a vision of? I was probably maybe 12 years old, and I was in Paris with my grandma, my aunts, my only girl cousin on that side, and my mom, and we went to the Moulin Rouge. And I was pretty little, so I don't remember much about it, but I remember at one point there was, you know, like just a row, just like a huge row of women, and like, you know, in ballet class where like one person puts their hand like on top of the other person's hand. So they're like hooked, right? They're all hooked together. And then they did like the can-can dance. Maybe you've seen it if you've been to Vegas or the Moulin Rouge. And of course they are nude while they do it. Yeah, I don't know why. It's just the Moulin Rouge. Although, maybe more just like what I'm receiving is like Paris. Paris? I don't know. Okay, Paris. Miautut. Nasht wat. Ik toet. Marabtast. Painta riptat rut. Ndekaish rut. Tarashk sk. Yeah, it's a seedy place, the Moulin Rouge, isn't it? Miast it orpetast, miakut at it urist, nakut miat ut. Clearing all programming from the Moulin Rouge if you've been there in real life or if you watch the movie. Miatu arrepetest, miak at ut at it arret. Nuk urut. Miast eku repet it at. You know, this is making me think of Miatu arreptast. Nyaka urut. Ist urutut. That feels like the end. Okay. What else? Yeah, just wishing everybody a really happy day. Much love.